We're talking about challenges today, starring
Mike Feist,
Josh O'Connor and
Zendaya.
directed by the ever so horny Luca Guadagnino. Written by Kurit Skits. You all should look up that guy on YouTube. He did hilarious skits like 10 years prior, and now he's working with Luca on his next film also, which is Square. Tell me what is challenges.
So, Challengers is a sports drama on the surface with a romance triangle, and it deals with this one lady who is a tennis prodigy, and the way she enters two tennis players' friendship and totally wrecks it. That forms the rest of the story.
It's a very erotic tale of like a triangular love story, right? And it's a very stylized, very polished. He directed the hell out of the movie, and I won't be surprised like along like towards the award season he pops up into that best director because the direction in this movie is just like out of this world. Like you won't expect those angles, those transitions. Technically it's a brilliant movie, and when it comes to the story and writing, right, the movie is very haphazard, it feels kind of, and also very messy.
Okay.
Though the movie is very like visually stylish, the story is very messy, and the way it ends as well, it's very
Challenging.
very ambiguous, right? Like it's a very ambiguous ending. Like it's up to the user like what you have felt. So all in all, it's a brilliant movie. Like technically a brilliant movie. When it comes to like the emotional and the writing aspects, kind of iffy with the fact that it was written long ago and like it won the that
Blacklist?
blacklist.
It was a
won.
blacklisted
Yeah,
script?
yeah. So Luca picked it up from that. Actually, Sony producers, Amy Pascal. So yeah, given the fact that it was, I mean, it's a good movie all in all. We are going to nitpick, obviously. That's what we are known for. So yeah, what about you? What did you feel about the movie?
So my appreciation towards Luca Guadagnino goes when he picked up a script wherein the story wasn't very meaty, but the way he directed that part, a simple story, the way he depicted it, the choice of non-linearity, of putting out only bits of information and bring out the tension in the scenes. So there he shines very much. And the music choices, man, like usually he does this thing, loud techno music that he uses, that's not a very, what you say, normal choice for a person to go with that for the scenes that are happening, but that man knows how to put that kind of music in such a different scene. So that's one thing, and he's known for his very sumptuous visuals. Always seems like he has fetish for his actors, like the way he portrays them or way he shows them. Like it's always like he has a few shots wherein he's kind of exaggerated way mein he's describing the beauty of the actors. He does that in all of his films, and this film goes in that direction as well, and I'm not complaining about it. The characters were done so well, like after a point I had to check like whether this is a real story or not, whether it is a biopic. So he succeeded in making believe like the story might be real, the CG shots for the tennis scenes. So the tennis court scenes were done really well, but yeah, these were the many takeaways from the film.
The writer took inspiration from the Serena Williams character.
Okay,
so that's why
समझ रहा है.
Tashi is black. Like first thing is, what movie says is like, whatever you yearn for, you won't get it. Tashi yearns for tennis career, she won't get. Art only wants affection from Tashi, which he doesn't get at all. And Patrick only wants art's affection as in friendship. Like even that sauna scene, I wants to talk to him about nothing else but the game, right? But also the way art puts him down because he represses it. That part I felt was great. Every one-on-one conversation, right? Every one-on conversation is edited like a tennis game. It's like if you're talking and you end at, and every dialogue is like you end at something where the other person has to pick it up from. Like Zendaya when she talks to like Patrick's character, like Patrick, when they meet at the hotel, it's back and forth, like and it's very quick, right? Like only one liners, they're speaking with one liners and it's very quick. And also there are like intercuts in like every half a second, right?
वो तो है.
And suddenly there's a slow motion sequence and then how it ends, right? So it really binds it all well.
The dialogue throughout the film was very crisp. One scene that I very particularly remember is the night where Zendaya's character leaves the hotel room. There, the scene is cut like twice or thrice from different angles. And this had happened before in the film, wherein 3 cuts weren't required to establish the area, but then they had done that. So those were the areas where I felt ki I had the problem with the editing. I felt
when you look at the movie without the music, right, it's very bad. It's like very gimmicky. It feels like.
Along with the visuals, he uses music for the tension.
Yeah, music as a
so
device
if you
for the
if
story.
you if you remove the music, the tension won't be that much as it is.
Even the like tennis game towards the end, like the music goes to the
Decibels
roof.
go high,
He hits it like out of the park. Trent Reznor did the music.
Yep.
And
He has done for Bones and all also.
Yeah,
right?
the music is impeccable. You'll love it.
The visuals were very polished, rich, and this music very party-like. And the scenes that are happening in the emotions are different. The collaboration of all the three things felt very fresh to us. That's why we liked the visuals.
Even the back and forth, like the years they go about, like the non-linear screenplay. It also mimics the tennis game, right? It goes 13 years back, then 8 years back, then 15 years back. It goes back and forth like for a long, and towards the end, that's the problem with the movie. It feels very gimmicky towards the end. Like you, like the last 43rd, when the third act starts, it feels very lethargic. Even with the characters, like they are very flawed characters, very unlikable characters. Even you felt like the Patrick character might be like he wants to pick himself up, but he's also very unlikable because he's a brat. He's the rich guy. Art isn't. So art's only way is to go up on like with tennis, right? But somewhere Patrick becomes very complacent with his tennis training and everything. So every character is very flawed, and the way they explore the relationship, right, that didn't feel very new to you, because the way Art and Patrick's relationship is shown is very homoerotic. Even the churro sequence, which we talked about off camera, and the way he puts his churro down and then pulls the chair like close, and the camera pans into, and we just see their faces, and he's way too close, very like unnaturally close,
uncomfortably
to him. Uncomfortably close. And you feel that with every interaction they have afterwards, like even that the chewing gum he throws in his
also
hand.
they set up it by the backstory.
Infamous bedroom sequence. And also it's Lucas addition actually. It ties up the whole homoeroticness of the characters.
The setup was really good, wherein he places the ball in the center of the racket. So I was waiting for how they will pay off. Like they set up that really well. So I knew the bomb's gonna go off at some point. And I knew like at the end sequence he's gonna ask, so I was waiting when he's gonna ask, and then he does that. I'm like, he's smart. Even though I knew it, I still appreciate it.
Because it was done so subtly,
so well,
right? I mean, even the setup was very subtle.
Yeah.
It was never really addressed, like the main attention wasn't on that, like the scene. Because they are already talking about did they do it or not. I mean, yeah, so brilliantly done, very subtle. Also, the announcer guy, he had no
reason to be that cool.
No reason to be that like he's so sassy with his announcements. Like I felt he is the coolest character of the movie. I feel.
I kind of feel in a lot of media that in tennis sport, women are kind of objectified for the dress they wear and everything. So in this film, Luca did it with the men.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said
the way he pans the camera or the way he shows them, the sweat and everything.
Like he's kind of
he's kind of
titillating. To be honest, yeah, you are right. Very right. That's the part of every Lucas film. Without male genitalia, there won't be a Lucas movie, right? And obviously, even this movie had some
random.
I mean, there was no need for it, but then also the visual gags, right? There are some visual gags like I told you a t-shirt, and then he comes and like when he tries to talk to Zendaya, he's wearing the t-shirt and Zendaya gets out of, and she says, "You can't come here, like get the fuck out." That's a really clever gag actually, and also the ending as well, right? The way Zendaya cheers, you never know who won the game.
Also, I didn't understand why she was cheering.
There's a dialogue before the end. There's a dialogue saying like it's a 15 seconds of where
give
you
me
are
a
involved
bloody
in the
good
game.
match.
Yeah. So that's what she wants, and she gets that because that last sequence is like the best part of the tennis game, right? And they showed it really well. Also the costumes, man, very polished. Like you feel that richness oozing out of the screen. It's a brilliant movie, and you will find way too many small tidbits, small things along the way. Like you will catch it up and try to come with your what did you feel about the ending. Try to interpret, and do let us know in the comments below if you are watching till at the end.
Do like this video and please share it with whoever wants an opinion on Challenger or who has watched it.
Luga bhai, big fan.
Chalo, adios.